Tornado Alley. Just saying the name sends shivers down your spine, right? It's a place where the sky can turn from blue to black in an instant, where the wind howls like a banshee, and where the ground itself seems to tremble. We're talking about the heartland of America, a region stretching from Texas all the way up to the Dakotas. This is where tornadoes, nature's most violent storms, are most likely to occur. But why here? Why is Tornado Alley the epicenter of twister activity? Well, buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive deep into the heart of Tornado Alley to uncover the scientific secrets behind its fury.
To understand Tornado Alley, we need to start with its unique geography and atmospheric conditions. Imagine a giant, flat expanse of land. That's the Great Plains, the heart of Tornado Alley. This flatness allows for a perfect clash of air masses. From the south, warm, moist air flows in from the Gulf of Mexico. From the west, cold, dry air descends from the Rocky Mountains. And from the north, you have even colder air masses making their way down from Canada. It's like a meteorological mosh pit, with all these different air masses colliding and creating a recipe for disaster. Now, let's talk about what happens when these air masses collide. The warm, moist air from the Gulf is like a hot air balloon. It wants to rise. The cold, dry air is denser, so it wants to sink. This creates something called instability, and it's a key ingredient in tornado formation. As the warm air rises, it cools and condenses, forming thunderclouds. These aren't your average thunderclouds, though. We're talking about supercells, massive, rotating thunderstorms with powerful updrafts and downdrafts. Think of a washing machine on spin cycle, but on a much grander scale.
Chat Section 4. Terrain and Climate. Fueling the fury. The flat terrain of the Great Plains doesn't just allow for the clash of air masses, it also acts like a giant runway for winds to pick up speed. We're talking about something called wind shear, changes in wind speed and direction at different altitudes. This wind shear is crucial for tornadoes because it causes the air to rotate horizontally. Combine that with the warm, moist air that acts as fuel, and you've got the perfect conditions for a tornado to form. Think of it like this. You need the right ingredients, air masses, instability, and the right environment, flat terrain, wind shear, to bake a tornado cake. Section 5. Seasonal Showdowns. Spring and summer's violent waltz. Tornado season in Tornado Alley typically peaks in spring and early summer. Why? Because that's when the contrast between the warm, moist air from the Gulf and the cold, dry air from the north is greatest. It's like a seasonal battle between these air masses, and the battlefield is often Tornado Alley. As the days get longer and the sun gets stronger, it heats up the ground, creating an even more unstable atmosphere. It's like adding fuel to the fire, and the result is often a dramatic increase in tornado activity.
Section 6. Global comparisons and the importance of understanding Tornado Alley. Now you might be wondering, do tornadoes happen anywhere else in the world? The answer is yes, but nowhere else on Earth experiences the same frequency or intensity of tornadoes as Tornado Alley. Other areas, like parts of Europe, Asia, and South America, see tornadoes, but they're often weaker and less frequent. So why is Tornado Alley so special? It's the perfect storm. Literally, a unique combination of geography, atmospheric conditions, terrain, and climate that creates a breeding ground for these violent storms. Understanding these factors is crucial for predicting tornadoes, issuing timely warnings, and ultimately saving lives.